where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, I just realized that our opening intro actually has
And it's the best opening intro in the bowling podcast, in the bowling media game. Forget about the bowling podcast game. Best intro in the bowling media game, period.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. 100%. There is me slaying Urethane, and
Very fitting.
It is. And
very fit. And me spearing the Patch Pirates.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more fitting could you get?
I know it also has me slaying Bolero also. And I'm like, man, this is like all the things that we literally battle on every show on a weekly basis. So I was laughing because it continues, like the ongoing fight of the example of that intro is great, and it continues every week. We're battling something with Bolero, we're battling something with Urethane. Anyway,
we always have issue with something in the bowling community here at Sweep the Rack.
Yeah, we're always in the middle of some bullshit. And if you don't follow us on Twitter, I've been pretty active lately on Twitter. Mike probably seen it.
If you don't follow us on Twitter, that's where we start all our shit. If you don't follow us there, and then we bring it here onto the show.
Like, it's amazing how different Twitter is than Facebook. Twitter, I like engaging with a lot of fans on Twitter, but Facebook, I tend to stay away from. I think it's so much more of a shit show. I mean, okay, it's not as bad as a shit show as the Bull TV chat room, because that is the ultimate shit show right now these days, which I'm here for. But I tend to be more active on Twitter. I think it just seems to be more of a crowd that I like. I don't know if that makes any sense. Facebook is such a tragedy. I don't know why, but anyway, Mike.
Rob, the often imitated, never duplicated Sweep the Rack, baby. We're here for our first of two shows this week.
We are.
The often imitated, never duplicated Sweep the Rack. Okay, I might have to put that in our tagline on our Twitter account, quite frankly. I'm not here to speak ill of others, but man, come on. Do better. Seriously. If you need help, call me. There's plenty of content ideas we come up with that we don't use or Rob won't let me do on here. Okay, so I could give them to whoever, for a small fee. For a small fee, of course. But
okay, first off, some of the stuff that you want to do might get us completely canceled.
Well, I'm saying if there's other people out there that don't have those concerns as much, maybe they could take those. They could take those skits.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was up to me, we never would have early in our podcast, we did a skit where we called bowling alleys and asked if they had 8-pound balls. And if it was up to me, we'd still be doing that. That would still be a regular skit on our show. Okay.
I didn't mind those skits, dude. I thought those were great. That always made me laugh. But so for the people, for the context, we're not doing a league review tonight. We're not doing worst of the week tonight. That's going to be saved for Thursday. So Thursday will be our regular weekly scheduled show.
Yeah, we're not going to get into much topical stuff tonight. No. Obviously there's more urethane controversy raging in the bowling community. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. I think Rob has some final thoughts on that, but tune in Thursday and we'll have more on that. Eddie Grumman with a chat here saying they had college bowling on Fox Sports. If they can put that on TV, why can't they televise these finals for the PBA tournaments lately? I imagine, Eddie, that you're referring to the smaller events that have been going on. I think that's a fair question, isn't it? I'm not hating on the college show. I thought it was good. I watched it today. I love watching the Young Bulls bowl. Love watching some of the future stars, perhaps, of the game. But yeah, why is that? Why? What's the decision making process behind putting that on TV as opposed to the finals of this last event, which we're going to run down in a few minutes, and I thought was a really good event, especially the stepladder. I thought at least the last two matches were really good. The first match didn't have much, but
I do have some thoughts on that.
Go ahead.
I mean, maybe they're trying to make the Bowl TV subscription a little bit more exclusive. So that, if they put everything on FS1, there really isn't a lot of motivation to subscribe to Bowl TV. So maybe that's the play. I mean, I kind of feel like that might be one of the reasons why they don't want to put all the finals on FS1.
I mean, to me, the college product is, and I might be in the minority in this. It's a better product than a regular average PBA stepladder. I mean, it's more exciting. The personalities are more into it.
You get different bowlers. You get to watch different styles, and you get to see a glimpse of the future. Guys like Spencer Robarge and Ryan Barnes and TJ. Who's he missed the 10 pin. The kid from Wichita. I mean, this is a lot of the future PBA pros that you're going to see.
And Wichita didn't have their big gun either. They have a kid named Alec Keplinger who I think was bowling the U.S. Open while they were taping this show because they taped it during the U.S. Open. So, I don't know, Eddie. That's a good question. That's something that we could definitely put out there on Twitter to Tom Clark and see what his response is. But, again, I don't want to make it seem like I have a problem with that decision. I don't. I think that what they do with this college tournament the last couple of years is it's good.
Mike in the chat.
Mike Big Dog, Mike Bowl TV Big Dog.
I know,
Mike Flanagan
now.
in the chat.
Thanks for all the shout.
You know what? I want to say something sincerely, Mike. Thanks for all the shouts in the chat and on the commentary. Bowl TV. There aren't too many people in the industry that will say our podcast name. Okay, for whatever reason. Either they won't say the name because they're scared to say the name, or they won't say the name because they don't like what we're doing here. But Mike Flanagan says the name, and I appreciate that, Mike. I really do. We're trying to come to the Bowl TV chat, make it a little more interesting, keep things going.
Let's read a comment, Mike. Read it.
It always boils down to the setup and production. The college event was taped during the U.S. Open. Could share the cost. World Series of Bowling will be awesome for TV, back-to-back shows, saves money. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. It makes sense. Like it would. So Eddie, in other words, what Mike is saying, if I summarize wrong, Mike, let me know. He's saying that to produce something like this Shawnee show that they just had, now you got to move everything to Shawnee. There's cost in that. There's production cost in that. And it's probably not cost effective to do it. So they can do this college event while they're doing the U.S. Open taping. Very cost effective. You kind of get 2 for 1, and that was that. Shep Ramsey in the chat saying that, Alec Keplinger hung out during the first game and then left to do the rest of the match play. What a stud that kid must have felt like, right? Like, oh, my team's bowling on TV for the PBA college, but I can't make it because I'm bowling against the best of the world in the top 24 of the U.S. Open. Sorry, guys. I got to go bowl the U.S. Open match play here while you bowl this little rinky-dinky college TV tournament. I mean, that's some big time stuff. Ian Lang in the chat. What's up? Ian Lang, all weekend I've been seeing updates from Doug LaCorey Bowlage on the Long Island Masters. I'm wondering, what did you guys bowl on? That's what I was wondering. Scores, I would say, were moderate. They were moderate. I didn't think they were crazy low, but it didn't look like everybody was striking at will either. So I was wondering what you guys were bowling on. Shout to the Long Island Masters. They were down to the Final Four. One of your guys, one of your old running partners, Rob, is in the finals. Probably the favorite to win, Alex Cavagnaro, in the finals of the Long Island Masters. I saw on Facebook he's won it 3 times. This would be his 4th.
So, a little bit of tip about Alex Cavagnaro, if anybody doesn't know him. I I'm not sure if he's the youngest anymore, but when we were growing up, he was the youngest ever youngest kid to bowl 300. But he bowled 2 300s in 9 days, and he was, I believe at the time, 11 years old. And one of those 300s he bowled with me on the Friday night team doubles when he was 11, and I've been about 3 to 4 years older than him, so I was like 14 or 15, and I believe he bowled it with a Pearl Cuda, brand new. It was like literally out of the box. So yeah, good to see him still bowling. Throws it great. Really,
Joe Navarro winner over Alex in the final match.
Navarro's, he strikes for a year too, and he's got it. So that's a good final. That would have been great to watch.
Yeah, they did. They had it on Facebook. I'll be honest, I didn't watch, but I was in the middle of watching actually the college show while it was going on. So, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, Rob,
yes,
let's break down the action. That's what the people are here for. We had a PBA. We had a PBA title awarded on Friday night. Right, it was Friday night that this title was awarded. So it was a couple days ago, but obviously Sunday, the first chance that we get to go live here. Let's go through the way we break it down here at Sweep the Rack, and we always start by running the ladder. So Rob, let's run the ladder here in this event.
So Grandin, I want to talk about Grandin.
Grandin, yeah. Let's. What do you want to say about Grandin?
Well, I saw a picture of him next to DJ Archer, and all I could think about was David Spade, Chris Farley, and I almost put a split screen of Spade and Farley next to Grandin and DJ Archer, and I was literally laughing. And I'm like, man, I really want to put a meme together and post it on our Facebook, but I didn't want to do DJ dirty like that. I like DJ. He's a funny kid, and he's always been cool with me. So I didn't want to compare him to Chris Farley.
Well, I feel like that's in at least some aspect that's a favorable comparison.
It is. It's just funny because Grandin does have the Spade look with the hair, and he's skinny, and then he's sitting next to DJ Archer, who's like pretty husky, and he's like kind of big. And anyway, I was laughing. So Grandin, I do want to talk about Grandin, who bowled DJ Archer the first match. What an amazing run this kid had, right? From the PTQ to the show. I love his style. I love the way he bowls. Dude, he is so traditional. You don't see that knee bend anymore. You
love his style. I hate his style.
I love his style.
I would not call him traditional at all.
Not traditional, but used to be. I'm talking like 70s, like old school traditional. Like 60s, 70s with like the knee bend. And that's what they used to teach back when we were kids. I mean, before us. I'm talking like the 60s, like way earlier with the knee bend, right? The Verapapa was it the Pappas or the Verapapa? I forgot what they called it. Good comparison though. I believe it was the Andy.
Here's another thing. I was going to ask this. I'm glad somebody in our chat has the info here. I was going to ask, what kind of shoes is this dude wearing?
He was wearing tennis shoes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's out there wearing some regular shoes, I thought.
Dude, just
wearing tennis shoes.
Stay Rook. That's a great comparison, Scott. I love it.
I wish it was easier to get in touch with some of these older PBA players because, man, would I love to interview somebody like Jeff Stayrook. Or like Steve Hoskins. I've reached out to Steve Hoskins a couple times. Like, God, I want to interview Steve Hoskins. I want to hear about the strap god from the 90s. I mean, Jeff Stayrook. I want to hear stories.
He's one of the guys who made the
I know. But all right, back to Grandin.
So Grandin,
I'm surprised to hear you say that, honestly. I really am.
I love you know what the thing about Grandin, why I like watching him bowl so much is because it's to me it's an old school traditional style, but it's unique for today's game. You don't see the traditional one-handed knee bend balance like post type like bowler anymore. You don't. Even the one-handers fall off. And
can I give a couple examples? Like Nathan Bohr, he's been around for a while. He kind of has that style. Trevor Roberts definitely has that style.
I agree. They're still out
Thomas Larson. Richie Teese,
they're out there, but it's just, to me, I like watching him bowl. And he, look, Mike's in our chat. Yeah, Grondin didn't have a good performance on the show.
So yeah, it's almost irrelevant. It's almost irrelevant. I mean,
dude, he had a great tournament.
we use the phrase "the show" though, and it wasn't really the show. It's a show. It's not the show. I don't think it's the same as being on Fox or FS1 or ESPN or any of the above. But I'm sure, any of us could understand that there's going to be some nerves involved in that, no matter what. And like Mike said in the chat, I too, after I saw Grondin throw it, and we actually got an email from a listener. I should look up who it is. I will the next time you're talking here. We got an email from a listener who mentioned Grondin, and they emailed us about Schenk and had a comment about Schenk. And then they mentioned Grondin in that email. Somebody like, yeah, watch this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a run or makes some noise. And then boom, the next week in Shawnee, he's making a run and leading the tournament and making the quote unquote show. But much like Mike, after I saw Grondin throw it, I really expected him to fade. I did. I did not expect him to hang in there and make the show. I guess the fact that they're bowling on what I would say is probably the PBA's most demanding animal pattern, right? Would you agree with that? Bear is sort of seen as like it's the quote unquote U.S. Open pattern of the animal patterns.
What's the length of Bear again? Is that the long one?
Well, it was 40 when they first started. It was like 40 flat. Now it's 41. But I mean, the shot makers are going to come out on that.
Yeah, well, 5 and 6 was miserable, and Scott brings it up on the chat. I mean, they were struggling on that pair all tournament.
Yeah,
they streamed that pair majority of the tournament. So if you were watching Bowl TV and you were watching, their home page where you want to listen to the commentary, they were mostly on 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 3 and 4, right? So you get to see everybody struggle, and then once in a while they'd pop over to like 9, 10, 11, and 12, where like someone had the front 9. That's kind of like what it is. But then when the pair went on 5 and 6 on the streaming on the finals, I was happy that they picked the toughest pair essentially in the building to do the finals on. I like that. Like I want to see them struggle a little bit on that pair. Who could make the best moves? Who could make spares, right? So that first match, I mean, yeah, like
DJ got a free pass.
Well, Grondin, here's the hard part of it is when you're struggling and you can't leave makeable spares in a one-game match, it's easy to bowl 150. I mean, you do it all the time in sport leagues. I do it all the time in sport tournaments where if you don't have a great reaction and you miss, and your misses are always 2 A10s, your misses through the nose are always, big fours, it's easy to bowl a really bad game. And unfortunately, that's the position Grondin was in. And then he makes a ball switch in like the 6th or 7th frame. I think he went to something really like dull. He went to really something like that hooks a lot. He moved like another like arrow left. And all of a sudden his ball is facing up the right way. And he's just kicking himself. And you could just see it, kicking himself for not starting with that ball. So yeah, that was an easy match for DJ. He just kind of, stayed around. So
it's a shame we know. So, and I think on Thursday we'll talk a little bit about, this new Netflix sports series on golf now, right? And we'll get into that on Thursday. But in terms of Joe Grondin, it's a shame that like we really don't know these guys. Like I have no idea who this kid is, what his experience is, what he's bowled in.
His story, man. What is this kid's story?
Right. So like, yeah, these are the kinds of stories that I would like to hear, or be more invested in. I don't know what capability. I know that Mike Flanagan and his crew are very busy, during the week. I don't know what kind of capabilities they have to sort of go into those stories somewhat. Or, grab some of those newer guys and get them in the booth and maybe section that piece out as commentary so people can listen to and get some background on guys. But yeah, I don't know where this kid comes from, but yeah, like quite impressive that he was able to make that run. So despite his bad performance in the stepladder, we're not going to hold that against him. And I'm sure we're going to hear his name mentioned in our rundown at some point. Yes, Rob?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope we see him again. And sometimes you could just like see a kid and like see his demeanor, and he's very likable. As like an underdog. He was very, just kind of like riding the wave a little bit. And I kind of feel like if me or you ever made a run to a television show, we'd kind of be that way, where we'd be like playing house money in the TV on the stepladder to a certain point. So I but guarantee if you interview him, he said that he bowled at Wichita State. He was Southwest Region Rookie of the Year. I mean, yeah, the kid obviously, in order to get to a TV show or a PBA tournament, you got to know how to bowl, right? Like the kid is, I want to hear more. Like, I want to get to learn about him, not his bowling. Like
to me, that makes it a little bit less impressive that he made the stepladder if he went to Wichita State and was Southwest Rookie of the Region of the Year.
Well, just
because if you went to Wichita State, I expect you to win titles.
No,
I expect you to be a Hall of Famer if you win. If you went to Wichita State and you don't make the PBA Hall of Fame, you kind of fell short of expectations.
Okay,
no?
Okay. Now I finally learned you were being sarcastic.
I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, how many bowlers go through Wichita that don't turn to shit as bowlers? Come on, man. Like,
I don't
just
know.
Because you go to Wichita don't mean you're going to be a Hall of Famer. But it's more impressive that he was Southwest Region Rookie of the Year. To me, that shows a real like bowling credential. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does. It takes a little bit of the shine off of it,
shine? What? Would you rather him be a patch pirate that made the? Would you want him to be a house bowler, league bowler that made a TV show? What his credential? All of a sudden, because
honestly, yes, yeah, that would be exponentially more impressive than a Wichita State grad / regional Rookie of the Year making a top 4. Right? I mean,
no.
How can you argue with me on that?
I'm just saying, like it still doesn't take his shine off of him making a show.
All right. Well, for me, it does a little bit.
This guy had a good run, man. Give him some due, dude. Just because he was.
Oh, I did. But I'm just saying, like it takes a little bit of shine off.
No,
of
it doesn't. You're
if you told me that, like. He's just a local kid who bowled some amateur tournaments here and there, and now he made this run. I'd be like, wow, that's a super, super impressive run.
Different.
Yeah, Wichita State, he's been mentally training for this day for 4 years plus. So
maybe we'll get to see him on an FS1 or a Fox show, and then I hope the PBA could do a little bit of behind the scenes on him.
He was showing a little fire out there during the. There wasn't a lot of opportunity in the final because but like in the match play and in the qualifying, like Mans was showing some fire. So I'd like to see him on a live show and give him a chance to bowl well and see what he's got. All right, so first game was DJ Archer 225 165. Shout to Grondin on his finish. Next game is DJ Archer against Dom Barrett.
Good match,
right? Yeah, it was a good match. It wasn't a very high scoring match, but it was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you like. You like low scores, right? So it was a good match. Archer literally was down a lot and going after 5 or 6 frames, if I remember correctly. Archer he got trapped essentially. All of a sudden he starts splitting. Dom Barrett is kind of just hanging around, making spares, staying clean. And then Archer makes a ball change, which I think he should have did 3 frames before after he did it, but it's easier for me to say that when I'm watching and he's bowling. So Archer was using, I believe it was that new global ball, and then he switches to a phase 2, and I think the 6 or 7 frame. Then all of a sudden his ball is doing the right things into that pocket. So Archer starts putting them together by the end of the game. Oh, and then Dom Barrett does something that he should have never did as a Triple Crown winner, and how good of Dom Barrett is as a spare shooter. He misses a 10-pin, and I believe it was the 8th frame, Mike, or was it the 9th frame? It was somewhere around there. And literally lets Archer back at the match. Archer then starts stringing him, and DJ literally gets up in a 10th frame. And what, Mike, needs a double or needs a first hit to move on?
I think it was a double. Yeah.
Mike
gets the first one.
He gets the first one, and then he throws the ball and throws it so good. And he just got a really bad break. He left a 7-pin. It wasn't like a high flush 7, but it was a shot that was definitely good enough to strike and will strike a majority of the time when someone as powerful as Archer's throwing it. And man, that was just like, I can't believe like that didn't strike kind of shot. So yeah,
I'll be honest, I thought that shot was a bit right. That
wasn't
second
bad.
shot,
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't high flush.
I thought it was very angular, like down the lane. And while it was a terrible break, I don't think that it was his absolute stone best shot of the game.
No, it wasn't. But for as tough as they were, and for as big a shot as that was, I had no issues on the shot he threw. It was a really good shot. It wasn't his best shot. I mean, he didn't split the 8-9, but he should have struck. And Barrett escapes by the skin of his teeth.
And then I don't know what everybody else was thinking. I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, Dom Barrett has no shot in hell of winning this next game.
Well, it started that way.
I know, and I thought, oh yeah. I mean, in the beginning of the next game against Tackett, I thought, oh yeah, clearly here's the way this one's going to go, because he had struggled with the transition so much in the end of that match against Archer that I just felt like, man, EJ just has the opportunity to come in here this game and just absolutely blitz them and end this in the first half of the game.
Yeah, I mean, EJ started out, I think, front three, and everybody in the chat and all kinds of people are like, yeah, this game's over. I think Dom started like strike, spare, strike, or strike, spare, double, and or whatever it was, and EJ looked like he was going to be unbeatable, and then all of a sudden you see Mike in the chat. You see Big Mike in the chat. EJ has the front three. Looks like Tackett is going to be reversing the what did you say exactly? And just on cue,
I said EJ Tackett. We are watching EJ Tackett change the narrative.
And then as soon as you type that return,
next shot, 5 through the face.
Next shot, dead face.
Yeah, 6 through the face, 5 through the face.
And then it got spicy because I think he split the frame after too, I believe. Like he started to like open a little bit. Well, maybe I'm wrong there. I think he actually started. Long story short, Dom kind of switches balls and he starts finding something, and now you're in a close game.
Listen, I'm a bowling fan, okay? I watch these matches differently, I feel like, than a lot of people. What Dom Barrett did in that game was amazing. I know he didn't win the game. I know he didn't win the title. But, man, I mean, to make the kind of adjustment that he did in that position with things being what they were, and then to throw 6 in a row to end the game. I know one of them was a crossover. I get it. Okay,
big one too. The first one, the 10 frame was.
I know. So let's say 5 to throw 5 out of 6, aced. Okay, in that situation, like if you bowl on tough conditions at a high level at all, you understand how hard that is, and that is like as hard as it gets to make a move like that and do what he did and be able to get back in the match and apply enough pressure to Tackett to where he's got to get up on the first one in the 10th and strike, which was amazing to me because early in the game, you like you said, you thought Dom Barrett has no chance of winning this game. I mean, after 3 frames, what would the odds of Dom Barrett have been to win that in a live bet? He probably would have been he probably would have been plus 1,000.
No, I would have said plus 1,000.
10-1?
No.
In that spot right there? Oh my, it might have been higher than that, honestly. I'll give you 13-1 in that spot right there.
I'd have said plus 600.
So for him to come back and get the match to where Tackett actually has to get up in the 10th and do something, and it was there was a lot of pressure on Tackett. If he didn't strike in that first bowl in the 10th, he wasn't going to win it. And I don't know what everybody else was thinking when he got up there, but I was thinking, well, here's another test. He just showed us at the U.S. Open What's he going to do here? And he threw it good. I think he was worried about whether it was going to hook or not from his reaction to the shot. But he threw it really good, and deservingly knocked 10 down and won the title.
Well, here's my question.
Changing the narrative. I put it out on Twitter.
I'm curious, and I don't have the answer, and you're not going to have the answer. How many titles has EJ won where he's thrown the Venom Shock on TV? I don't recall him winning without having that ball in his hand, to be honest with you. I don't remember the last time he won that he wasn't using that ball.
Ball might be the best. I said it on Twitter. That ball might be the best ball ever. It really might be. I mean, pound for pound. I'm saying pound for pound. Reaction, versatility, number of things won with it, right? I gotta say, that ball is something super special. Super special.
I wouldn't put that ball over the Purple Hammer. But it is.
I would definitely put that over the Purple Hammer. The Purple Hammer hasn't won enough. It hasn't won enough.
The dominance of the Purple Hammer.
Okay, but the Purple Hammer is a dominant tool, right? The Venom Shock is a dominant ball. The Purple Hammer is a dominant tool. You often can't go the whole event with the Purple Hammer. You can use it as a tool to put you in a good position to win, but there's a lot of instances where either by the end of the event it's no longer a usable tool, or you can't. You have to switch to something else.
Well, the thing about the Venom Shock is when they blend and they start breaking down, it's by far the best ball you could probably have in your bag. So for that purpose, it is great. You could still throw it on the fresh, but it's not going to be as good. I love my Venom Shock, and I was sad that I had to get rid of it when I did, and I couldn't drill a new one because at the time I signed my Patch Pirate deal, so I had to get rid of it, and then I couldn't.
Mans used to be a Patch Pirate. Still might be. He might be undercover.
A former Patch Pirate. So
undercover R.
Yeah. So I love that Venom Shock, and I always said as soon as I was gonna end up being a free agent again, I would drill a new one.
I would like to see that too. I guess you could go back on YouTube and look up all his titles and watch the matches and see what he's throwing. But listen, if I'm him, I ain't throwing anything but that on TV. I'll take my chances. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell he's always looking to go to it if he's not using it. It's always on the rack with him. He always has it with him. Anyway, so EJ ends up throwing in the 1st and 10th. He ends up winning his 2nd title this year. Probably too early to talk Player of the Year.
Is it though? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think so either.
A regular title.
How many other people are going to win 2 titles?
And one of them being a major.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Simonson has a chance. Elmo always has a chance.
But crazy. Hey, go back and watch the show 3 weeks ago. He was my prediction for Player of the Year this year. He was. I just feel like when you're knocking on the door as much as he's been knocking on the door, eventually he's going to find a way to break through and get rid of all the TV demons and whatnot. He's always been one of the top 5 bowlers on tour. Years he's been a top 5.
Agreed.
He's always in the discussion. He's a previous Player of the Year. Well,
now he won the Triple Crown. Now the discussion kind of changes to now he's favored for Player of the Year again. Now I think the discussion changes to top guy all time. Now I feel like we have to start looking at him in a sense of, all right, well, where could he fall historically? Because he's young. And he's got people knock on the two-handers for the physicality of what they do. He's one-handed. I mean, he throws it pretty violently, But, you would imagine that injuries wouldn't be a major factor for him, right? So, to me, yeah, after the way he started this season and the fact that he's front runner for Player of the Year, and it seems like he's extinguished the demons that he was dealing with in terms of getting up and bowling in these high pressure situations where every single shot counts. I have started to think about, all right, well, where could we be putting him when everything is said and done? Like, is it possible that we're all looking at Belmonte as the GOAT because of the run he's had and the majors he's won, but when everything is said and done, it's going to be EJ Tackett because he's already in that category, and he's got a lot longer of a road to go in his career.
It's interesting because he's always kind of been in the top 5, but he's always been in the shadow of Belmonte and even Simonson to a certain degree. And Kyle Troop too is kind of taking a lot of the spotlight from Tackett. But yeah, EJ now has 18 titles and barely 30 years old. Player in their 30s thrive. I mean, he's
so 18. Flanagan says 18 titles. How many of those are majors? How many majors does he have? He's got 3 or 4 majors.
I'm not sure. I would.
Well, he's got to have at least 3 because he's won the Triple Crown.
Right.
So yeah, he's behind Belmo quite a bit on the majors, right? Belmo's got what, 11? Belmo has 11 majors right now.
There's a lot.
So
a lot of majors, Mike.
But that's is it though? I mean, when you consider he's only 30, and he's got another 10 years in his prime.
Yeah, but you only bowl 4 majors a year.
So all right, so he's got he's got 40. He's
gonna have to win a major
45.
every year to be
45. Okay, if he's got 45, then that would be 100 more majors. No, sorry, 40, and then another 20. That would be 60 more majors.
He's got to win a major every year.
He would have to win.
10 years.
Right?
Dude,
so he'd have to win
a major every year for the next 9 years.
He would have to win 10 out of those 65 majors.
I'm telling you,
60 majors.
Simo was younger. I kind of agree with Mike Wolf. Isn't the conversation still Simo? I mean,
he's in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not in it. But again, what's the conversation we're having here? Is it strictly majors, or is it total titles and majors? See, I'm a traditionalist, guys.
So like, this argument.
I know. Well, I don't want to get into this argument. We still have the rundown to do, but I'm just admitting I'm a traditionalist. Like, we threw the total title shit out the window, and that's just bullshit. Okay, because Walter Ray had always been the standard when Earl held that record, and Walter Ray took that record from Earl. And then when Belmo came on the scene, because we know he's not going to reach that record, we changed the goal. We moved the goalpost to majors, right? So if we're talking majors, then yes, I think Simonson is in a better position to make that run. But Tackett could still make that run. He's got a lot of time, and not, this is another thing I want to talk about on Thursday, and I'm just going to put this comment out there now without much discussion. Not only does Tackett have a longer run, but Rob, you know what I've noticed over the first few weeks of this PBA tour is that we're really not getting any of the young talent to break through. Like, it's the same. It's the same guys, young or older. It's the same guys who are continuing to dominate out there and win.
No, I mean,
we're seeing flashes from some people.
I mean, there's still. I don't necessarily. I don't think I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. We'll talk about it Thursday, but that's why I say, like, somebody like Tackett. Once Belmo passes his prime, and Bill passes his prime, and a couple of these other guys that are above him in age past their prime, there's nobody out there. I don't feel like there's many people out there that are even going to be able to compete with somebody like him or Simo at their level. So.
There's always some young people that'll get in there, that'll make some noise.
All right, let's do the rundown, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right, where you want to go first?
Let's
Just if you're new here, we have our own way of running down the PBA tournament. First thing we do is we run the ladder, which we just did. We go over all the step ladder matches one by one and give a breakdown of those. And then we have 5 additional categories, okay? 5 additional categories where we award players awards in these categories. And the categories are ride with, not ride with, I see you, Hoss, dumpster diving gold medal, milk carton, and spare shoota. And I will explain each one as we do it here. Play along with us this week. Play along with us always. You know, as you're watching the tournament, you should be thinking about who's my ride with, not ride with, spare shoota, etc. This is what we like to do here. Where you want to go, Rob?
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of the same answers this week. I'm
small field too. So
yeah. So let's start with my favorite category out of the 5 is the dumpster diving. Who gets the gold medal dumpster diving? And I'll go first. My dumpster diving gold medal goes to Frankie Lavoie.
Oh,
who finished in 60th out of 66 players. For someone as good as Frankie, finishing in the 60th out of 66 is very surprising to see his name there. So, congrats, Frankie! You get my gold medal for dumpster diving.
Especially on a quote unquote shot maker's pattern, no?
I mean,
even more shocking.
I would bet all my money that he went to finish in the bottom half of the field, let alone 60th.
My dumpster diving gold medal goes to Frank Snodgrass. Frank Snodgrass finished next to last, was one of only 2 people in the field to average under 200. Not that I'm hating on Frank Snodgrass. He's had a hell of a run so far this season. Made it through the
people that finished.
What?
There was 6 people that had under 200 averages.
Okay. Had a great run at the U.S. Open, right? Made it through the PTQ here, but it's got to be really tough to make it through the PTQ and be like, all right, here we go. I'm in the main field. Let's go. Let's make a run here. Let's get it happening again. And then boom, you're down and you're finishing next to last, and it's like, oh my god, I just bowled a bunch of games just to bowl a bunch of games and cost myself more money. It's tough.
Still learning. I feel like some of these guys, like Snodgrass and Santu, you see someone in the bottom of the field here. Still learning experience from them. Christian Ascona gets my silver medal, FYI, because he
becoming a regular. He's becoming a regular. My man's been living in the dumpster. He's been living in the dumpster.
Yeah, he's not had a good start to the season. So
not at all.
No. So hopefully we see him. All right. I feel like our milk carton is going to be the same person, so I feel like we need to.
So milk carton, dumpster diving gold medal is where we award a gold medal to somebody who finished low in the standings. Okay, milk carton is where we highlight somebody who we just haven't seen around in the standings very much, and here they are. They just appear, and it's like, hey, milk carton, where you been? There you are. We found you. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have the same person here. But go ahead.
So, look, Joe Firpo, right?
Joe Firpo.
Where has Joe Firpo been, right? Like,
who don't need more Joe Firpo in their life, bro?
You want to talk about a name from the past, a blast from the past, Mike. Good to see Joe Firpo still bowling, man. Just out there competing. He finished 66 out of 66. But Joe Firpo does not get a dumpster diving award because this is Joe Firpo. This is a name that we all know and we all grew up watching on TV.
And you know what? God bless Joe Firpo. I don't know what he's been doing in bowling over the years since he didn't bowl on tour anymore, right?
Yeah.
But like he must have felt like he was in a twilight zone out there, bro.
Dude, Joe
like
Firpo,
like hypothetically, imagine again. I don't know what Joe Firpo's been doing, so this is totally hypothetical. I'm just being entertaining here. Imagine Joe Firpo stopped bowling on tour, right? Let's say he didn't bowl for a little while. He took some time off. Then his buddies dragged him back into bowling league. and he bowls in his little local leagues and stuff on the house shots and this and that, and bowls pretty well, probably averages 225, 230. And he gets this invite to come bowl this PBA tournament. And he decides, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go bowl this PBA tournament. Maybe I still got it a little bit. Let's go see what's up. And he comes out, and it's two-handed righties throwing urethane, two-handed lefties throwing urethane, people basketballing the ball out on the lane with urethane, resin going down the lane, sanding bowling balls. And like my man must have felt partly like he was in Back to the Future. Honestly, that's what I felt watching him a couple games this week. Like, yeah, like my man is in Back to the Future right now, where he's in the future, but he's in the past, but there's differences in the past. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
Too
he's
good.
Probably thinking, yeah, man, I hear Urethane's back. Let me bring out my sumo. And
That's what I'm saying. Furpo, king of the purple angle, the purple sumo.
He's probably bringing that out and thinking, oh, well, Urethane's back in play. And then the purple hammer's out hooking his sumo by 3 arrows.
Yeah. And he sees Thomas Keiko go up and blah, just drop the ball on the lane two-handed, and the shit's like choo-choo. And I mean, come on, like he must have felt like he was in the Twilight Zone for real.
Yo, here's a good from the chat. David told us that Furpo had the best hair back in the day. Dude, we should have pulled up a picture of vintage Furpo and put that on. So I'll see if I can find one here while we're doing the next award. So shouts to Joe Furpo. I would imagine is he getting your milk carton award too?
Well, I'll give a different one since you gave Furpo, but that was a good one. I'm gonna give it to Connor Pickford. Connor Pickford, where you been? Milk carton. He's in the field though. He's here bowling. I don't know. Just something I noticed, a name I noticed that I haven't seen in a while. All right, let's go to I See You Hoss. I See You Hoss is where we give props to somebody. Up, you got Joe Furpo?
I got
Joe Furpo here.
Hold on, wait. Let's
look at Parker, man,
dude. He still looks the same, Parker.
That's right.
Hold
Teal
on,
Rhino.
Good Teal Rhino, man. I could watch these old shows for days. By the way, bro. Look at the old Teal Rhino. Look, there he is, dude. Joe Furpo. Dude, check out the hair, man. The glasses, the stash. My man was styling, bro. Dude, what is he using?
Look at the polish on that ball, man. That ball looked like it went on the 12 in the Luster King.
Dude, he threw it good too. Oh man, that's a bad
too much polish. Too much polish on the ball for Joe Furpo.
Oh man, he's even laughing. Joe Furpo, man, kind of looks like Dave Arnold a little bit with a mustache and hair.
Wow, amazing.
Dude, career earnings, man. Look at that. Made $10,000 in '93.
All right.
I'm sure that got him a whole lot of hair product, Mike.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right, let's pull this off here. But I just figured out how to show that. I could watch these shows all day. All right, Mike. Who's your
What are we on? What are we on? We're on I See You Hoss. We're on I See You Hoss.
Yeah, I had two for I See You Hoss. I'll let you start, and then I'll pick the one if you don't pick the guy.
My I See You Hoss is Matt Ogle.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Ogle. Sorry, I got to plug in my my Chromebook here. Matt Ogle. Yeah, he's been bowling well. I See You Hoss. He's right there. Almost expect him to have a bit of a breakthrough, but I See You Hoss, Matt Ogle. Go ahead, business owner out there grinding and bowling. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I like to see him win a title singles. I feel like he's still in the shadow of the doubles title.
And at this point, it wouldn't shock me if he puts himself in that position. He's been bowling really well. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. My I See You Hoss is going to Zach Tackett.
Yeah, that was my other one.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He does. It's funny, like, I never really saw Zach, to be honest with you. Like, I saw glimpses of him, but then I watched him bowl, and then I saw an interview, and I'm like, man, he looks so much like EJ in just his style and, like, his looks, and it just would be really, really interesting to have seen them bowl each other on TV or on even the show. That would have been an interesting match. Imagine if, like, I always wonder if I bowled my brother on TV, if I bowled Dave or Jeff on TV, like that would have been wild. We would have got it. We would have been chirping to each other for sure. It would have been a wild match. But it would have been definitely good for ratings. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but that's not what it would be today on the PBA show if two brothers bowl each other. It'd be a love fest.
I love
It'd be,
that.
oh, bro, great shot, bro. Oh, give me a hug, bro. Oh, good luck. I want you to win, bro.
I would throw a shot. I'd turn around and be like, I'd be yelling and shit.
Like, who's the best bowler in the family? I'm the best bowler in the family.
I'm the favorite.
I'm the mom's favorite. I'm mom's favorite.
Son. I'm the favorite son. They don't love you. They don't love you. Could you imagine?
Yo, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah, your brother misses a 10-pin. You're like, nice shot, man. Nice shot, man.
Hey, man. I'll be applauding. Like, good. There you go. But I keep missing those spares. Oh, man. We would have been fist fighting on TV. Oh, dead fish, too. Dave Peacock. Oh, he's getting that dead fish, too. He dead fished me back, and we'd be like dead fishing each other. If anybody doesn't know what a dead fish is, you shake someone's hand before the match. You give them dead fish. Just a hand stiff. Right there, baby. That's the psych out. That's the Rudy Rebs. That's the Rudy Rebs play. He taught me that.
All right, we're going to spare shooter.
Oh, we're giving the same spare shooter award.
I don't think I am. I don't think I am.
Oh, mine's going to Don Barrett. It's easy. That's an easy
one.
All
right. Why? Because of the missed spare?
In the worst possible situation for him. And if DJ gets any bit of a little bit of a break there, he loses that match when he shouldn't have lost that match. So
I feel like I would have won my remember at the beginning of the season when we did our bets, I made that over number of single pins missed on total shows. I think I would have won that already.
Oh, well, the PBA college tournament that would have put you over and up.
Yeah, no doubt.
In a heartbeat.
My spare shooter is going to Lavery Spar.
Okay.
And the reason is because, like,
which one? Sean or Anthony or both?
Whoever finished higher this week. I think it was
probably
Anthony Lavery Spar, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Sean did. No, Sean finished 5th.
Did he? Okay. Yeah, then that's what I'm doing.
He barely missed the show.
Okay, yes. He missed the show by 6 pins.
Yeah.
He missed the show by 6 pins. He averaged like 250 something in the second block. Okay. Great striking the second block, but are you telling me he didn't miss a spare somewhere along the way that kept him from making that top 4?
Probably.
I mean, come on. You're letting Joe Grondin sneak in by 6 pins over you, and there's got to be a missed spare, got to be numerous missed spares across the board there. Totals were carried over all week. To miss, it's got to drive people nuts. It's got to drive people nuts. I mean, we all look at
him too.
I don't know. That's a good question. We all look at the strikes and the final frames of what happened at the end of a block or match play, who won this last match. But yeah, I mean, don't tell me there's not spares around there that are, put you out of it. He missed a 5-pin the last game? Oh, my goodness.
No,
that's just ridiculous.
I don't believe that.
That's just ridiculous. He deserves it. And he deserves it, okay?
I didn't know that.
I didn't even know that. I just looked at the standings and saw he missed by 6 and knew he struck the lights out in the second block. So I'm thinking, all right, he probably had to miss some spares along the way at some point.
Good award, Mike. You didn't even know he missed the 5-pin.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't get to watch a lot of the match play because it was Friday during the day while I was working. And then it was Friday night, and I had some errands and running around to do. I was out and about.
I didn't hear about them taking him in the back and slapping him in the face with baby powder.
No, I didn't hear that either.
Because that's what usually happens when you miss a 5-pin, right? Isn't that the norm?
Well, that's UBA.
Oh, I thought that was just normal across.
Is it? I don't know. I never had that happen to me.
Well, you never missed the 5-pin, or have you? The way you're shooting.
Yeah, I probably have recently. Probably deserve it.
Yo, on a tough shot, man, you got to throw that shit straight. I ain't throwing a strike shot. I'm throwing my plastic right down the middle of the lane. Anyway, all right. Last award, right?
See, this is what I'm saying. Charlie Tapp saying he took the 6-9 out of a full rack that missed the head pin again on the spare. And you missed the show by 6 pins.
Yeah, but the 5-pin, you miss it. And then imagine having a ride with him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's got to eat them alive, yo.
Yeah.
It's got to eat them. Especially when you see Grondin go 160 and then Archer go 170, and you're thinking, oh my God, if I just could have got in and shot 180, I'd be bowling for a title.
Yeah. Plastic on everything, Andrew. That's right. Plastic on everything single pin. It's pretty much, you need to be a guarantee. I mean, look at the lady who missed the 4-pin today on the PBA College show. I don't know what she was thinking throwing in RSTX3 at her 4-pin, but if she would have been, they even commented on it too. If she was throwing plastic, she would have made it. She had a plastic too. Anyway, okay. Ride with, not ride with. I think our not ride with is going to be the same person because we haven't mentioned him yet.
Stu Williams.
Talk about Stu Williams.
God damn it, Stu!
I know he bowled so great.
I was rooting for Stu. Like I tried to watch the match play just because he was leading and in it. I even sent him a text.
Oh, you mush!
I even sent him a text.
Just stop texting people. Stop.
And I said, "What did my text say?" I said something along the lines of like, "Yo, let's go, Hoss. We're rooting for." I said, "Let's go, Hoss. Get on the horse, Hoss. We're rooting for you. Hoss. Let's get it. Get on the horse, Hoss. We're rooting for you. Let's get it." And yeah, from there, he went from first to 12th.
He went 2-10 in match play.
I know, tough. I'm not riding with him.
I'm not riding with him either.
I do not want to ride with him. I'm sorry.
I would want to ride with him and Barnes though. That would be interesting to hear Barnes get on his case.
I would not want to take that ride. I would not want to make that.
You wouldn't want to be a fly on that wall to hear the Barnes.
Maybe I'd want to be a fly on the wall, but I would not want to be a human in the car. Fly on the wall is different, If I could just be a fly buzzing around the car and I could leave whenever I want, I could fly out the window when they open it up. That's fine. But if I have to sit there for the whole ride and listen to that, oh my goodness!
I would
gracious.
love to hear Barnes get on his case about all the stuff. Anyway, who I'm riding with?
Nico's asking me why do I think it was a good idea to text Stu? Because I believe it or not, Nico, I talked to some of these people outside the podcast. That's number one. Number two, I actually was legitimately rooting for him. You dope. Okay,
you're a mush though. Nico knows you're a mush. I know you're a mush.
I wanted to wish the guy luck and say good luck. Bowl well, man. Let's get it. Let's go. This is it. I have to call him as I see him. So I put him on the get winning or get a job list at the beginning of the season, and I'm thinking, here we go. He's coming through. Here we go. He ain't playing games anymore.
Yo, Nico, I'm with you. Like I've learned that when I watch Bill bowl, whenever he's bowling good, and I start watching him, I tend to cloud him. So I've stayed away a little bit from watching Bill sometimes when he's bowling good because I feel like I'm clouding him a little bit. But
the whole cloud thing is so overrated. Okay, I've been watching. Bill O'Neill's had a Hall of Fame career with me watching him throw almost every shot of said career. Okay,
I gotta bring this up because this is so a funny comment. Lumber writes, I can't watch Stu bowl. His backswing is tacked and his release is Mamma Mia. Stu's interesting.
Maybe from bowling on the house stuff too much.
What me and my brother called Stu Williams' style is the hamstring. Because he hamstrings it. That's kind of what we nicknamed Stu's style. So he's very, he hamstrings it. Every shot, he looks like he's hamstringing it. I'm riding with the Tackett brothers, Mike. I'm riding with both EJ and Zach. And I mean, look, like, how could you not want to ride? Zach, has his best, I think, finish as a pro.
Probably riding comfortably. They're probably taking a private jet.
You probably
125 grand in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, how could you not want to ride with Zach, who finished sixth, and EJ winning his second title in 3 tournaments?
They're riding in that Denali pickup truck.
I wonder.
I know they probably drive pickup trucks. There's no question.
EJ's probably a big rap guy. I could see
no
EJ
chance.
being a rap guy.
No chance. No chance.
I'm telling you.
My man is listening to straight country. Okay.
No. You know why I think that?
Yeah. So he's listening. He's listening to the Highwaymen. Okay. He's listening to Chris Christopherson. All right, and Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash type shit. Okay.
You ever seen the movie Office Space?
Yes.
The beginning of the movie where he's rapping in traffic? That's what I see EJ.
No way. No chance.
I got my pistol point cocked, ready to release shots nonstop. That's
no way.
Riding. Anyway, all right, Mike. Well, that's our rundown.
Hold on, I didn't give my not ride. I didn't
shit.
give my ride with.
Okay.
I didn't give my ride with. I had another not ride with candidate.
Nico has a good not ride with.
Nico, that was my other one. That was my other one. I'm not riding with AJ Johnson. That's gonna be an angry ride, bro. There's gonna be some raging on that ride.
Road rage.
Okay, so I'm not riding with him either. Probably a dangerous ride. My ride with would be Joe Grondin.
You don't want to ride with
my man seemed to get hype, so he's probably getting hype on the ride. You know, he's got to be feeling good. You know, making a step ladder coming out of the PTQ. That's always going to be a fun ride. We're probably eating well because he cashed for a decent check. So I'm always down for a good meal.
What are you listening to in Grondin's car?
I don't know. It's tough to tell from what he looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say more of some kind of true crime podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna go with like 80s rock.
Ooh, Queen.
You know, he looks like an 80s rock guy, maybe with the longer hair.
Ooh,
you
some
know?
AC/DC.
Yeah, something like that. Some Journey.
Metallica.
Some Don't Stop Believing. That's the song we're probably leaving the parking lot to.
Dude, Robert Hamilton says
Don't stop believing. Let's go. Next stop, Wichita. Come on with the feeling. We're making the show again, baby. Let's go. That's the vibe I'm having.
Alternative rock. I could see a lot of Blink-182 and some 41 like that, type, and with the head banging,
Okay. Robert Hamilton says the techno. Yeah, do you think he's throwing on a little Tiesto? He's throwing on a little Tiesto and rocking out to Wichita, banging the whole way.
I like it.
No doubt.
All right, Mike. Do you want to talk before we finish up the show here tonight and get to our final thoughts? You want to talk about the PBA College show?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it. You know, it was a good show. It was a good show. A lot of young talent. A lot of young talent. You know, a lot of the guys from both teams threw it really good. The fourth bowler from Mount Mercy reminded me of Daria, the way she threw it. So look for her name in the future. All the Wichita State girls, they all throw it great. I mean, it's ridiculous.
The epidemic is real with the spare shooting, though, ain't it?
Oh, totally. How
many single pin spares? There was Robarge missed one on the men's show. TJ Rock missed one to lose the show. Two girls missed single pins in the first. I mean, there was at least 5 single pin spares missed in the matches in the 4 games they bowled.
Yeah, but let's be honest. This is not a premier event in the college calendar, right?
No.
First of all, there's only a few teams invited to it.
Yeah.
Secondly, from what I read about it, the NCAA teams are not even available to bowl this.
Right.
It's an
invitational. It's a pan pick,
Yeah, but come on. If you ask these college bowlers what tournaments do you want to win,
of course,
this isn't going to be one of the top ones because there's it's only a few teams.
Yeah. So I want to bring this up, Lumber, because this is the other topic I will talk about for a minute here. I missed the college show. I understand Wichita lost due to a missed 10-pin. It's true, but here was the biggest item of the whole show that nobody's talking about. The college, they pulled Spencer Robarge from the anchor spot to put TJ Rock in the anchor spot. And then it gets, of course, to the 10th frame, and Spencer Robarge doubles in the 9th. And then he needs a mark to win. And he threw a good shot, 10-pin, and he just missed it. And my heart broke for the kid, honestly.
Yeah, but it was a 2-game match.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of things happened over those 2 games. So, you can't point to that and say, oh, that's the reason they lost. Now, Nico in the comments saying they took the top 6 USBC schools. I understand that. But on the other side, Nico, they didn't take any of the NCAA schools, and some of the better schools on the girls' side are NCAA. So if you really want the top talent, you got to get those NCAA teams involved. I mean, I want to see Nebraska on this show. with Julian Martin. I want to see Vanderbilt on this show with the roster of talent they have down there. From what I see, Charlie Tapp mentioning Bob Learn's team won the Hoosier and the program is dropped after this year. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of programs that have been dropped over the last. Saginaw Valley doesn't have a program anymore where Rob and Bill graduated from. My school, St. Peter's University, doesn't have a program anymore where I graduated from. St. John's University, where Mike Fagan graduated from, no longer has a program. So yeah, from what I've seen, there's quite a few, long time programs that have been dropped from college rosters. I can't speak to the reasoning for that, but yeah, definitely not something you like to see, or definitely not a good sign.
No, it's not. And college bowling is amazing, and it does feel like there's a lot of new teams you see on a daily basis out there. I didn't even know the team. What was it? Indiana Tech. I didn't even know that they even had a college program. Like, so you just kind of, and not that I follow it like religiously or anything, but there seems to be a lot of new schools like making shows a lot of the times that you never even knew had programs.
Yeah, Nico mentioning that the NCAA teams can't bowl because of rules. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. But I'm just saying, like, they got to find a way to work that out. Like, I want to see that. I want to see the absolute best of the best.
That'll get there. I think that if they keep getting TV time, I think eventually they'll be probably, you would imagine, add more teams as it goes on. They make it like one of the premier big tournaments of the year for them. You know, I mean, really, how much?
Now that would be awesome. That would, like, if the PBA could put something together where they host a weekend long event, right, that culminates in a show, and you have 40 plus teams on each side. That's what I'm talking about.
They should. And I mean, really, like I said before, how much really TV time do these teams get as a college? They barely get TV time. So if you could use that TV time to, make it a big tournament, and then, you just film it the same week of the US Open, it gives us a chance to watch some of these players that we never get to see. And you do see a lot of future pros. Even when the one guy I think was the second spot at Wichita was the one who led the national amateur this year, and he's bowling too, which is crazy how stacked of a team Wichita had, and they lost. It just shows you, Baker, really anything could happen regardless of how good your team is.
Bry guy in SI. I
like it.
Bry. Welcome, Bry.
King, baby. What's up?
Welcome, Bry. A name I don't recognize from the chat, so welcome. The finals for non-majors not being on TV is taking bowling backwards. A week removed from the PBA bragging about so many people watching the first event, just to not have it on again. What a joke. Okay, first of all, I'd have to be fair and say that some of the non-majors are going to be televised. So I put that out there first. But I agree with your point about starting off hot and having a lot of people watching the U.S. Open show, and then you're not on for numerous weeks. Like, that doesn't make sense. And Brian, I mean, around here, you're preaching to the choir. Honestly, we did an episode not too long ago where we came up with our own hypothetical PBA schedule, and I wanted to kick it off right after football ends and kind of own that time. Put it on for numerous weeks in a row, own that time when football ends, before summer gets here and people kind of are out doing things and lose interest a bit. But fair point. Fair point. I think that's a rather fair criticism.
All right, Mike. I feel like we did Shawnee some justice. If anybody's interested, Wichita PBA starts Tuesdays, the PTQ, and I believe Wednesday starts the qualifying.
Another title this week. We'll be back on next Sunday. Break it down. Final thoughts here, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Real quick, I know we've already gone overtime, which seems to be every week. So at this point, it's not even overtime.
We're not too bad. We're not too bad tonight.
So a video came out that was published from Brad Miller, originally talking about how the PBA did a random check on his pitch black, and the pitch black that he got tested in his video explained that he only had 9 games on it. And it was originally, he posted, it got tested at a 68, which is 2 below the 70 rule. And then that report from Brad was scrubbed. And even on Twitter, he responded to me on a big thread saying that it was his mistake, that they actually told him it was, I believe, right on the nose at 70, which now, spurring the whole conversation up on Twitter. And I'm to the point that I'm so sick and tired about hearing about urethane hardness and checking and testing and all the stuff that outside of all the shit that we've been dealing with for the last year. I'm to the point where I really believe they need to ban urethane. And I really believe that until the USBC and the PBA can get the testing figured out, where we are extremely confident that every game that is bowled is on a fair playing field with the urethane balls, that they should be banned until something comes to fruition where the testing is legit and the testing is consistent, it's fair, and it's accurate, and everybody understands that they're playing in the same field. Now, the problem I think they're running into is the fact that these urethane balls are getting softer as they bowl, right? Are they going to have to now test before and after every squad? Like, do they have the time and money, the PBA and the USBC, to do that on these tournaments? Do they only maybe wait until the top 12 or top 22, or maybe wait for the match play portion and then test every urethane ball? So that's only really testing, whatever it is, maybe, 50 to 100 balls a squat, a test. But I'm just so tired of hearing about it. And we all know my feelings on watching urethane. It's boring. It's a snooze fest. It is a cheat code in a weird way, where people are just, using it because it obviously gives them something on these patterns that they don't have with the performance. I'm done with this shit, Mike. I'm done with it. Cancel it, ban it, do whatever they have to do until we don't hear anything more about this testing and the hardness bullshit.
I disagree.
I know you do.
I think it's a terrible take. We'll discuss it more on Thursday, I would imagine. We can get into that a little bit more when we have a little bit more time. But yeah, definitely okay. Disagree heavily with that take.
Put your pipe and smoke on it, Mike, and then get back to me on Thursday.
Okay. All right. We can all do that.
I did get heat for it on Twitter. I did. But I also got people that are not. The one thing that bothers me, and this will be my last statement until we talk about Thursday, is that when I say ban urethane, people are responding and they have no idea, like, anything that's been happening with the hardness checks and the hardness tests and all the controversy behind the scenes. And people are just like, they have no idea why I want to ban the urethane. And they still have to comment and, and try to talk shit when they don't even know the real reason of why I want to ban it in the first place.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's my only
fair enough point.
So anyway, Mike.
So my final thought is going to be that I feel like we are speaking the gambling on bowling into existence. Okay, let's continue this conversation. Let's continue speaking about it. There's a few sports books. Bet Rivers is one. If you guys want to check it out, depending on where you're at, you can definitely place bets on futures on Bet Rivers Sportsbook app.
Bet Rivers, what is this, like the Onion for sports betting?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know like who they're affiliated through or all that. It looks pretty professional. It looks on the up and up. But
probably some kid in his mom's basement that started a gambling site, and that is like.
Yeah, I went on and registered because somebody had put out that you can get future wagers on there for PBA events. And when I went on for New Jersey, they did not have any odds for bowling. So I hit them up on Twitter, and they said, yeah, in New Jersey, there's certain laws about what they can and can't post odds on, and they can't do bowling in New Jersey for some reason. So that stinks. But in Arizona, they can. So if you want to get on there and get us some bets in for this week, we can get bets in. But you know, again, keep speaking about it. Keep speaking about it. Let's put this out there. Let's speak this into existence. Sweep the Rack has a history of doing things like that, where we talk about things and all of a sudden you see this conversation popping up everywhere in the bowling community and things start to happen. So let's keep that conversation going with the gambling on bowling.
Do I trust Bet Rivers with my account information?
Sure.
You know? Yeah. Oh yeah. Just hey, they
look good. I'm telling you, check it out. It looks only up and up. I'm telling you.
Charlie Tapp says Bet Rivers is a Little River casino in Michigan.
Okay.
The Little River Casino in Michigan doing big things for bowling.
Yeah, not surprising that a place in Michigan would have bowling odds. Michigan loves bowling. Yeah, so there you go.
It's probably I probably know the person that's doing the odds too, I'd imagine.
True. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back on Thursday with our regular show. We'll have worst of the week for you on Thursday. We'll get into some of these other topics that we didn't get into tonight. Yeah, league review. I
had 700 last week, so
I went to the training center on Saturday too. Shout to Rev Rates, always taking good care of me. Great place if you want to go practice. But yeah, we'll have all that for you on Thursday, guys. Enjoy the PBA action on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, and we'll catch up with you on Thursday night. Later.
Bye-bye.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.